So let's talk about Feel Special for a couple of minutes because Twice really did that, huh? Um, I already did a music video reaction when it was first released. I think I might have been the first reaction on YouTube. I just got it out there. I really, really enjoyed the video and the song. So I listened to it a bunch more times. I watched the music video a bunch more times. Then I took a bunch of notes. And I just want to gush about it for a couple of minutes. So let's gush together. So let's talk about the song first. I mean, I'm going to assume you have listened to the song, watched the music video if you're watching this. But if you have not, Feel Special it's hard to describe if you would call it a house song with disco influences or the other way around, but I do feel the bones are probably more house, so I'm gonna say it's a house song with some disco influences and some really nice uplifting lyrics that the song really reinforces with a lot of warmth to it. It's definitely as a whole more house, but sonically I think it's closer to disco in a lot of parts. When you pay attention to the individual textures of the samples, of the synths that they use, of the instruments, it reminds me a lot more of disco than of modern house. So it really feels like they built the skeleton of a house track and then very deliberately put sounds in there to evoke disco rather than the other way round. And in the chorus in particular, you can really tell that it just feels like a modernized disco track. And I really, really like that. It really evokes the best of both worlds. And there's a lot of wonderfully overlapping, complex synth melodies going on pretty much throughout the entire song, but they're never overbearing. They always let the vocals shine. That is always the most important thing here, that the clarity of the vocals shines through right in the center and really provides what pulls the song together. And they all do a really good job vocally here. It's not the kind of song that really has a vocal showcase that has crazy riffs, that has crazy belts or anything in it, but that's also just it wouldn't really work here. It would kind of distract from the warmth of the track if you suddenly had someone belting like a G5 at you in the middle of it. So that works well. Their voices here are very warm, are very sweet, and just generally have a certain level of confidence to them that really works with the rest of the song. It all comes together for a very playful and warm feeling that has a lot of joy to it, and that just feels it just feels like they actually have something to express here, something very positive, and they want to go for that, and everything reinforces that. The one part of the song that really surprised me a bit is the rap verse, and I knew it was coming because it's a K-pop song in 2019, there is a rap verse coming. But this one, at first it felt a tiny bit out of place because it really came out of nowhere. But I do really enjoy the high-pitched synth. I'm not even sure, that sounded a bit like a xylophone. It could have just simply been a piano or keyboard sample. But that was underlying the entire rap section, and I really enjoyed that. It tied it into the rest of the song, even if it happened kind of abruptly. In general, the transitions in the song are a bit abrupt, but that doesn't always have to be a bad thing. I think mostly they really do work. All in all, there's nothing all that unique going on in the song, but it's just a damn fine production. It knows exactly what it wants to do. It knows exactly which genres, which styles it's going for, and it just does that. It has wonderful production, wonderful arrangement. The mastering also sounds good from what I can tell based on the YouTube version. Of course, I haven't listened to a lossless version yet, so I can't really verify that. But from what I heard, the mastering sounds pretty decent here, which isn't always the case in K-pop either. So good, very good. All in all, the song just gives you a great sense of motion, of spiraling, of getting lost in the music itself, in the groove. And that's just a very disco thing to do. And to combine it with house like that, house which is usually a bit more aggressive and feels a bit less textured, that's a very good combination. It's all placed on top of lyrics that are incredibly warm and gentle and kind and optimistic, about belonging and about finding your place, overcoming hardship together. It's very, very sweet. It's a kind of song that can be read in a variety of ways. It can be read as being directed at a romantic partner, it can be read as being directed at a friend, it can be read as being directed at their fans, or at each other. And I think the music video comes in there and suggests that this is to be read as them essentially singing to each other and maybe also their fan base. But I always like when a song is left vague like that, when it can apply to a bunch of different situations. So song, lyrics, production, all very nice. Definitely enjoying it a lot. Now let's talk about the music video for a bit, because this is one hell of an expensive and well-produced video. This whole thing is just neon-tinged, glamorous goodness. The main conceit of the video is showing the individual members in rather lonely one-shots and solo scenes, such as one of them is on a rainy street corner with crowds passing her by without stopping or paying any attention to her, before then coming together as a group And that kind of reinforces the message of the lyrics there. And intercut with obviously dance sequences of them all together. And those dance sequences are quite nice, even though we don't get that many in this video. So I'm really hoping we get a separate choreography version of the music video at some point to show off that choreography, because from what we could see, it looked quite nice. It looked like it had some quite nice formation moments in there. It looked like it was just forceful enough, but still had quite a lot of glamour and delicate movement in it. So it looked quite awesome. But as a whole, this music video, a lot of straight up fantasy and sci-fi sets that really let them do whatever they want visually, and they really use it. Interesting use of color in here, wonderfully lit, and they definitely put a lot of money into this video. One of them is wearing an absolutely gorgeous gown in what turns out to be a dollhouse set, which brings in that fantasy setting there, and also the two sides of many scenes here where it's them together in that hopeful sense, and when it's then in a more fantasy setting, in a solo setting, and often then finding each other in the climactic moments of the video. And here in particular, this is her, by the way. I'm sorry, I don't know their names. This is my second time ever watching a Twice music video, but I just want to appreciate it anyways. Here what I found particularly interesting is her headpiece there, and I forgot what specifically that is called, but that is Christian iconography. That is meant to represent a halo, and I believe it's in the Spanish tradition, but I don't know exactly what it's called. You see that a lot in fashion, you see that a lot in painting, Renaissance painting in particular. And I found it very interesting that they use it here, and it's absolutely beautiful. Her entire gown is beautiful, but that headpiece in particular, she looks absolutely stunning in that. I don't know if there's a particular meaning to the use of Christian iconography here, or if they just used it because they think it looks nice, but either way, beautiful, and I always love seeing that. Actually, that's been coming up quite a lot in K-pop music videos lately, that halo fashion iconography, and I always like it. I think it always looks wonderful. Just everyone is wearing incredible outfits. Their hair and makeup is absolutely on point. And that on top of these excellent sets that they clearly put a lot of money into, that are very well designed. Just, this is the kind of sleek, high-budget, well-produced production you expect from a group as major as Twice, and they're fully delivering here. And I said it in my reaction, their stylist deserves a raise for picking out these gorgeous gowns and outfits for them, for being so good with their hair and makeup. Just all in all, wonderful. And even the settings for the dance sequences are actually pretty awesome. Let me see if I can find them real quick. This is one of them. This one is, I think, my favorite, because this is such a neon-tinged 50s influence set, and you can't really tell. It looks a bit like a diner, it also looks a bit like a casino, but all in all it has this very classic, ripped out of time feeling. Even their outfits here look like they're from a bygone era. I think that's wonderful. And then the other set here, and this is not a good shot showing it, but it's just glitzy and glamorous and golden. It has water features, but it also evokes casinos. They both kind of have a Las Vegas feel, and they work together really well, and I love that. I think the dance sequences here are in really memorable settings. That's awesome. It just has this rich Vegas look. But my favorite setting in the entire video, and I just got this by accident, is this one. This is just excellent. I always love that. I always love using a bunch of old TVs as a backdrop. It can evoke a million different things. It can mean a million different things. Sometimes it's just there because it looks awesome. But here, and there's a further pulled out version of this shot where you see even more of them. But that's awesome. And to use this as one of the moments where two of them find each other on the TV footage, then looking at the TV, that is so wonderful. That has such a wonderful intermediality to it. And that is something we actually see a lot in East Asian popular culture and art. And you see it a lot in K-pop videos as well. Visually, I find it incredibly appealing, and you can read so many possible distinct things into it. It's always hard to know which ones are meant to be evoked. But with TVs, you always have the idea of media, you have the idea of one-sided media. That is here broken by them looking at each other. You have the idea also of technology marching on, because these are old TVs. You always have to wonder if the person in front of the TVs is meant to be represented as an evolution of that. Just a lot of cool stuff going on here. It's magnificent. It just all comes together at the end for a wonderful music video and a wonderful song that all reinforce each other's messages. This is incredibly hopeful and optimistic, and you don't necessarily always have such just kind songs. And they I'm happy with this. I'm very happy with the song. I'm very happy with the lyrics, with the production, with all their vocal performances, with their dance performances, and with the music video. This really reinforces each other. You get the same message in the song, in the lyrics, in the music video, and that is always great. And it's just enough message and meaning in the music video to like put in between these gorgeous glamour shots and choreography shots that it elevates it just a bit above what a lot of other K-pop videos are. So bravo, great song, great video, Twice really delivered here, and I'm very happy to have watched this and to have talked about this. And do let me know what you think about the song, about the video. Did I miss anything? It is absolutely possible that I missed something, so let me know in the comments. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you liked this, it would be awesome if you shared it on social media, but even if you don't, thank you for watching. Special thanks to some of my lovely Patreon supporters, Lala, Fred, and Kim, and I'll see you guys in another video soon.